So without DCC power, we cannot run trains. Welcome to H.P.T Powertrain. That's right, folks. A lot of work has occurred in this room over the weekend. But gracefully, with the power of a camera and recording, I can show you today what I got done and what I have to get going so we can get back to running trains. As you can see, we got all our toggle switches hooked up for our tracks up above. We have our DCC switch, which I'm going to explain for the turntable. And of course, we have our rotation. It's a shame it doesn't have an automatic stop, but because this was a cheaper turntable, this is what we have to work with, which is okay. Saving money and still works, right? So as you can see, all these connectors and the wires that's feeding all the tracks, and these wires going back to the toggles. You see each wire connecting into every one of those toggles. It allows me to switch those tracks on and off. So I basically just labeled so I would know power up, and in order of the tracks, there's an arrow that way. So it's 1, 2, 3, vice versa. For instance, I want this track on. I switch 1, 2, 2. Now those switches you can get plentiful on Amazon. They're really cheap, and I only had 1 or 2 out this bag that were defaulted. Other than that, very good switches for a good price. Don't forget our suitcase connectors, plentiful than going to a hardware store near you, and cheaper on Amazon. Moving along to the DCC switch polarity. So this is in the middle of a 3-way switch. Okay, so I think it's the H.P.T switch. So whereas you take this switch and throw it up for the polarity to go a certain way, go down for the polarity to go the opposite direction. So that's very important whenever your locomotive decides to come in and it hits this track. It has to have the same polarity here, whereas back here, because if this is different than this locomotive was short, possibly threatening to burn the decoder or just stop on the track. Definitely do not want to burn decoders. So it's going to come in with the same polarity. Once it gets off this track, basically now we got to worry about the polarity from this to this. So if we need to change it, we just flip our switch, change the polarity so it's identical to the bridge, and allow the locomotive to keep going without a short. Now, of course, whenever you're switching your locomotive an opposite direction, you have to change the polarity again. What you're doing is changing the orientation of the bridge, whereas it's flipping polarities. So you have to, again, switch the polarity. Try not to make this confusing. All we're doing is just switching the currents. Now that I caught you guys up on the toggles I did, the wiring and everything how I did it, I have to put my DCC control system in here. Before, it was such a chaotic mess the way I had all this. Come see and I'll show you what I got going on. So a good while back, I could not figure out why my power cab was glitching, going on and off. Sometimes it wouldn't have power, sometimes it would. Could not figure it out, thought it was in the controller, but it was not. After much testing the voltage in this pack, this power pack is supposed to only give out 13.8 volts. It was giving out 18 volts, and what was happening, it was threatening to burn the power cab. Once I found that out, I disregarded this power pack and I put my own digital power pack. This is about a $70 power pack I picked up on eBay. This allows me to fine-tune the power I want. It's way more heavy duty, and I can switch out my ports the way I want. So what I did with this, I found 2 banana plugs. So one for my hot and one for my ground. And I went ahead and wired on my NCE plug here so that it accepts right into the back of my NCE. I do not like to run this NCE no more than 15.5 volts. It's more than what they recommend, but I love running on 15.5 volts. It gives me no trouble. it's better than what the little box can give out anyways. So glad I figured this out. So now I have to implement this into my fascia. Let's get that going with our Dremel and cutting this out so this can slide right into it. So I'm just going to cut this cloth out from right there so we can get these wires in a little bit easier. That'll work. Of course, let's put our power supply where it needs to go. Right up against this. This is going to plug into the back of our panel, so we'll just leave that like that. So this wire, I'm going to drill through the table and tidy this up a little bit better than what I had. So this is a job for the hole saw. There's a drill bit that goes in the center of this, and it acts as a guide. So I need my drill bit. So much as I deal with all this crap, I can't find a screwdriver. Let me go to the back and see if I got one. Okay, I gotta secure that. You gotta secure that thing in. All right, let's try it again. The power of recording and doing work. That's what happens. So, passing this through that. Nice. Okay, there we go. Should have power. There we go. That's where I like to run my NC power cab on 15.25 actually. So now it's time to hook up our power pack into our bus line. So what I'm going to do here, I already know the orientation of positive and negative. Same color wires, but I remember the orientation. So because I got plentiful of this laying around, this color wire, I'm going to use the same wire. So what I'm going to do is cut this, stab this into the back, screw her down. Okay. Just for in case if I forget, I'm going to slide a piece of black shrink wrap over it, so I will remember that that is ground side. That's a wrap. Right there. We're going to cut it here and put our toggle in so we can switch this on and off when I'm running DC. Good idea, right? So I know what you're thinking. David, clean your mess up. I will as soon as I get done with working with what I'm doing. If I clean up now, I will not be able to find anything. Is that just an excuse? Maybe. Grabbing our toggle. And it's nice with these toggles because it indicates where on and off is at. So it's very nice to see that on these little toggles. Put some on our soldering iron and just kiss it. That's it. That's all you need. You do not want to put a lot of heat because it will mess those switches up. Ask me how I knew. Okay, there we go. There we have it. Let's get this installed. So to fasten it, I'm going to fasten it here and here with some of these self-tapping coarse Phillip head screws. Doesn't have to be fancy because this stuff is really thin. There we have it. So moving on to see where our toggle is going to go. This is going to be just for aesthetics. I can either come to the side like this or come in the middle. So I'm thinking right in the middle where that light's at, about right here. Putting a plus right where I want it. Doesn't have to be perfect, just get it close. There it is. All right. For this, I'm just going to use the washer and the nut. On, off. Right, so this goes to negative. Start with the negative. Okay. I should have did this first. Okay, got it. Well, our toggle is not working. Okay, figured out the problem, which is not a problem because this toggle is staying. This toggle is killing the power to from the bus line to the NCE system, which is good because when I put my DC system later, this toggle is going to shut off this system so it does not try to backfeed into my NCE and threaten to burn things up. So again, this toggle is a must, but now I need to put a toggle on my power coming in. That's the thing I need to do. That. Very simple as going to the hot side, cutting it, and applying a toggle. You don't need to see that. We already seen that a while ago, so let me go do that. Okay, so let's try this again. Let's go down below. We already got our toggle installed. Basically, I got to plug it into our power pack. Okay. Plug our NCE back in. So turn it to on. Red light should come on. There's your red light. Let's move a train, make sure our train still works. Yes. So before I end the video, I'm going to demonstrate what these switches do so you can see better while the locomotive is working back and forth. Okay, as you can see, it comes off really nice. Reverses really nice over it. That's because the polarity is 1 right now. Now, if I was to keep going on that back track, it will stop. So let me show you guys. All these switches, I'm going to put the number 2 switch on because we're on 2 track right now. Now let me show you when I reverse. It should stop. I don't want to burn my decoder though. There it is. It stopped. So we have to change the polarity and go ahead and do it again. There you have it. I can stop that locomotive there, kill that track, and I can move this locomotive all I want. It's not going anywhere. So what we're going to do, we're going to switch to track 4. Turn 6317 on. Rotate our turntable to that track. Pull 6317 onto the bridge. Speed step of 1. I like to go slow with this. Polarity is the same, so everything is working out. Stop it in the middle. So we got to do a full rotation so it's in the right orientation getting onto this yard here. So we got to reverse the locomotive. Okay, let's reverse this thing and get it off this track. There you have it. Beautiful. So let me show you the polarity change. Let's change it. Now watch. See? You see the difference. It's got to be right. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's it for now. And like always, thanks everybody for coming by, checking out H.P.T Powertrain. Please like and subscribe to keep up with the future updates of videos and shorts coming up soon in the future. So like always, thanks again, and I'll catch you in the next one.